What's up, everybody? So I was shooting the shit with some friends of mine on Discord the other night, and we were perusing the creepypasta subreddit because, as you may know, Reddit is usually the birthplace of horrible, horrible content. So we had to take a look at this story. It was a Pokemon story that we found. It was apparently one of the top rated stories according to my friend who sent me the link. I did not actually go searching for this myself because I would not subject myself to such horrible content willingly. But we decided to read it, and I thankfully recorded it because I had the foresight to think that I might be able to make a video out of this content, because Lord knows I have not made a video in a really long time. So I hope you all enjoy listening to us read the story. Well, it's mostly me reading it, but nevertheless, I hope you enjoy listening to it.
360.
Yeah, I remember. Missed that shit. Alright, let's see. It started as many stories of its kind start. My son and I found a marred copy of Pokemon Blue at a garage sale. It sat atop a pile of discolored Nintendo crap, none of which I let Eli touch.
Great story. Great fucking story.
The sticker had faded, and Blastoise was drawn on in a crude Sharpie. Eli, being 5, loved the blue cartridge. It didn't take much for him to convince me to buy it. When we went up to the old lady behind her makeshift register, she peered at the cartridge through Coke bottle glasses. It wasn't labeled, but I've got $5. I rolled my eyes. Dude, haggle. Eli shrugged, but the woman didn't say anything. Her eyes darted from the game to Eli, to me, and back. Miss? I ain't selling that. I'm sorry? I don't know where that came from, but I ain't selling. It was right there on your table, and take it then. Shit, I don't care.
Okay.
This is great.
Eli flinched and squeezed my hand. Ma'am, could you not use that language around my... You want to come here and tell me what I can and can't say at my own house? The weekend bargain hunters are watching us now. Get the hell out of here. As she struggled to work her way out of the plastic folding chair. Oh, dude, she was like gonna fucking throw down with him. I told Eli to put the game back where he found it. He tried the old puppy dog eyes routine, and I shot him the "if you don't do what I say, I swore I'd never use it my kid." Wait, what? I shot him the "if you don't do what I say, I swore I'd never use it with my kids." We backed out, comparing the old coot to a rabid female dog, ooh, a bitch, in heat, and calling my son and I a series of racial slurs for African Americans that didn't apply to myself.
Wait, so he's gonna say crap, shit, and hell, but then he won't say bitch. We compared it to a female dog in heat.
And her calling my son where did that come from? A series of racial slurs for African Americans that didn't apply to myself. Being so white, I'm practically bioluminescent. Nor my son.
Is this really?
Being half me and half his Israeli mother. Jeweler.
Oh my god.
Oh wait.
See, what is this? Was the top story when I searched.
The car ride back became a lecture on doing what I say, when I say it, and how to never say the words she said, nor the ones I said for that matter. Eli, to his credit, didn't cry or even argue back, so when we got home I dusted off my Game Boy Pocket and my faded copy of Red and let him play it. Oh, he just so happens to have a Game Boy and Pokemon ready for the go.
I was waiting for the kid to have pocketed the cartridge.
That would have made for a better story and much more believable.
I bet it happened.
That would have been so much more believable. And life went on. I didn't think much about the incident, save telling the story to my wife and a couple of friends. Routine washed the interest of the incident away in a couple of days, with one difference. Normally, Eli fought bedtime hard. He didn't throw tantrums, but brushing his teeth took 10 minutes. And magically, he had to pee or poop 2 or 3 times before we could get him settled in bed. Since the crazy old lady incident, however, he was ready for bed a full half an hour before bedtime. Salacious, I know.
He literally Googled like weird synonyms.
If this is like supposed to be like just the narrators like telling you the story.
I dead ass think that the person who wrote this is like a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
They're like 15, and they're like, I'm gonna use salacious.
Oh, that's an adult word. I just saw it on my SAT.
I said crap and shit in the first paragraph of my. That
this
whole
is an
intro
adult
was not
story.
needed. It was not needed at all.
No, it was not. My wife said something must be wrong, but to be honest, I enjoyed the newfound peaceful hour before fighting to stay awake during the Tonight Show like anyone over 30.
Oh, Jimmy Fallon!
Ooh, hand them over. Hand over those guns.
Actually, wait a minute. When was this written? 8 months ago. Oh, this is Jimmy Fallon.
About 2.
This is recent.
Yeah, this is the top one.
No excuse to be shitty.
About 2 weeks passed before I noticed it. Eli shuffled into the kitchen one morning with bags under his eyes. Hey, do you have it open?
Yeah.
All right, you want to be Eli?
What is this?
He'd been.
Which one is this?
The Pokemon
Flash.
Tower B1.
Damn it, bud.
Yeah. He'd been sleeping later and later, but I assume a growth spurt. As he sat up in front of his kick-ass dad, made slightly overcooked pancakes. He poked them and yawned. What's going on, buddy? He couldn't look at me.
Nothing.
Dude, Eli, look at me. He had tears in his eyes.
Please don't be mad.
Always a good sign when a kid says that. I told him I wouldn't be. I didn't put it back.
Oh, is
yeah, it's supposed to be on a new line, but this guy doesn't fucking.
Oh, is it?
Put what? Oh, the game?
Yeah.
Damn it, bud. I sighed at the thought of what we had to do. I'm not mad, but I'm disappointed. Ooh, he fucking hit him with it. Maybe his soft sobs didn't hurt me more than they hurt him, but it was damn close. We have to make it right.
How?
He said through sniffles. I wiped his nose and held the tissue so he could blow. Ooh. We have to return it. If it weren't for the kid,
I
thought
fucking
would
knew
never
he would
crossed
take
my mind.
Such a well-written.
Very predictable. While the house wasn't too far away, I couldn't remember where it was in the maze of suburban hell. I wanted to spend the ride in silence, let the kid think about what he'd done and how wrong it was. After the third wrong turn, Eli's eyes that fucked me up. Eli's eyes haven't let the floor. Come on, couldn't they just fucking name him Steve or something?
I don't understand. Is this Eli saying this, or is...
No? Did you play it?
Yes.
What about my game? Why didn't you just play that?
I couldn't save it.
And Blue did? He nodded. How far did you get?
I'm stuck at the spooky tower.
Really? Did you get the Sylph Scope?
Yeah.
What's got you stuck? I waited for an answer. The houses all looked the damn same.
Oh, dude,
I swear, we passed the same ugly baby blue monstrosity 3 times. Pokemon Talk
you really need
was a
double negative.
Pokemon Talk was a welcome distraction. Are you trying to use normal type moves or?
It's the ghost, The ghost plays music. Music makes me so hard, and I sleep.
That's not what it said. This is the music makes it hard to sleep. That doesn't make him hard. Dad, what's an erection?
Daddy, what's a welfare?
Dad, sometimes, when Bugs Bunny dresses up like a girl bunny, things happen to my wee-wee.
Oh, no.
I hate that. I felt something as trite as a cold chill run down my spine.
That's a small big word.
but it's what I
Right.
felt. His tone was so matter of fact, so casual. The ghost that plays the music. What ghost?
You know, the one in the basement.
Buddy, there's no basement in Pokemon Tower.
Yes, there is. It's where they keep the kids.
Wait, I gotta hide this. I tried to hide my quickening breath. Kids say the darnest things.
The darnest. There's no D.
What does the ghost do?
He plays the music when you lose. The nightmare music. I know I can beat him, Dad. I know I can. I trained my Squirtle all the way to Blastoise. I trained him. I didn't evolve him. I really want to beat him.
You're not to play that game again, Eli. Is that clear? I'll get a new save battery for Red. You can play that.
Yes, sir.
It took me longer than I'd like to admit to remember the old lady's house was on the other side of the tracks, in a literal rather than figurative sense. Dude, it always means both when you say that. As we turned down her street, something seemed off. Only slightly more off than my kid saying he found a music-playing ghost in a non-existent floor in Pokemon Tower. Jesus. Yeah, I guess Eli says that.
Eli looked at me as if, is this where the house was?
Eli looked at me as I parked.
It's gone.
We sat, staring at a taped-off, blackened husk of a house. Its frame collapsed and water still pooling around it. We sat in silence until a woman went running by.
That's the wrong "it's," by the way.
Oh shit, you're right.
It
Apostrophe
is
S.
Dude, you could tell a big boy tried to write
Yeah.
the wrong "it's" there, and then on the other side of the tracks, parentheses, because this is internal dialogue I'm having. Literal rather than figurative. Alright, where are we?
The going theory, according to the runner, was that the old lady fell asleep while smoking. Oh, dude, she was getting that fucking Yon Hakaniju, Moyase.
Ooh, Moyase.
Light up the apparent tinderbox of her hoarder's
Tinder
home.
cylinder.
Ooh, which didn't make sense because what hoarder holds a garage sale? The runner ran on about various gossip related to the recently deceased. It was a tale riddled with what I heard was and the story goes and so forth. In the end, I felt bad for the lady. As I sifted through the mountain of gossipy BS, I pulled out the story of a lonely old woman. Miss Buckner's husband died in the early 90s, weeks before his son was born, and the boy was known to be a bit off. Antisocial, obsessed with video games. He's fucking autistic. A bit of a delinquent, but got good grades. Yeah, no, he's fucking autistic, dude.
No. Good grades, Asperger's.
Oh, yeah, true. I mean, delinquent is probably just like skipping class because he wants to fucking read about Sonic lore.
Yeah.
Save the house and the burbs, the gossip could have been describing me growing up. Apparently, though, he killed himself a week before high school graduation. Before the woman left, Eli leaned over, looking more animated than he had all day, and asked,
What was his name?
Oh, her son? Oh gosh. As I recall, I think they said he name might have been Braden.
Name.
But admittedly, that's even worse.
Name might be. This is a great story.
I can't believe I actually got it out. Like, as I was saying it. I think I recall.
Read it how it's written.
Oh man. Oh gosh. As I recall, I think they said he name might have been Braden, Brandon, or he interrupted.
Oh, wait, what was it? What was the thing?
His name was
I know
Brennan.
that's the lady. The lady said that. So.
Boom. That's it. As she ran off, I asked Eli how he knew the name.
That's the name of the boy who plays the music.
I shivered as my heart doubled its
Big
pace,
word.
mimicking a heart attack quite well. Motherfucker. Wait, no. Motherfucker.
Dad!
Sorry. Either my kid was lying and somehow guessed the dead kid's name, or he found his way to something far beyond the limited by reality stretch of my imagination. As it
Oh, definitely the first one.
Yeah, obviously. As it needs to be said, I did not let Eli get his grubby little hands on the ridiculous creepypasta fuel that was this copy of Pokemon Blue after that. I put a new battery in red, and he, over the course of a few days, came back around.
It just kid, his grubby little hand.
Oh, God.
Oh, I love this next line. But did I toss the game like any non-idiot would? Nope. I wouldn't be posting to a creepypasta place if I did. I made the same fatal flaw that every generic character in a cheesy horror story or movie or whatever made. I got curious. I started playing the game at night.
Hold on,
It's
dude.
getting juicy.
Why did he put a colon there? It's not a list.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
You know, if he went to college, he would have threw a semicolon
Ooh,
right
yeah, dude.
there. Yeah.
If he tried to kill himself, he would have put a semicolon there.
I could have stopped.
But I didn't. Oh, I'm so deep.
Oh, I'll get a tattoo to my fucking wrist.
My wrist, right where not the one I slit though, because I want people looking at my scars.
Yeah, I did it. Alright, go ahead.
I started playing the game at night, sometime between making everyone's lunches for the next day and passing out on the couch with my wife. Dude, he's like watching like fucking Law and Order with his wife, and she's like, "Put the game down, honey," and he's like, "No,
No.
I gotta play Game Boy."
Completely.
First, I checked Eli's game. He was indeed at Pokemon Tower, and at first I thought the music sounded a little off, maybe even a little bit sped up or higher pitched. After checking it against the track online, I came to the conclusion that I maybe wanted something to be special about this game. I couldn't find a basement to the tower either, despite bumping into all the walls and mashing A to check every spot. About the only thing odd I could find was that my son had a penchant for the same cutesy Pokemon I did as a kid, like Jigglypuff and Clefairy. Ooh, what a fucking fag. Your kid's
Fairy types.
fucking gay.
Well, he's gay too.
Not even
'cause he likes the same
Trigglypuff.
Pokemon.
Yeah, that's true. Jojo Buff? I started my own game after that and went through it as normal. What a fucking dick, deleted his son
He
saying.
didn't even... No, he cursed it for...
Hey, he said motherfucker. About a week and dude, his son was always like, "No, it's a Christian Minecraft server."
You griefed
He agreed.
What is it? I started my own game. Oh man, this fucking story is boring.
I'm enthralled.
I started my own game after that, and I went through it as normal. About a week in, my wife told me I was tossing and turning in my sleep. I didn't think anything of it. That's my favorite creepypasta line. I didn't think anything of it.
It's normal.
The next day, as Eli and I were getting groceries, we sang along to Bruno Mars coming over the store speakers. Halfway through the song, I heard the eerie tones of Pokemon Tower piercing through. I shook it off, but as we waited in the interminable
anything of
checkout
it.
line? Interminable? Is that a word? Am I saying that right?
I'm gonna Google this because I think this guy just Googled synonyms or something. Let's see. Does it mean self-checkout? Endless. Wow. Often used hyperbolically. Wow.
I shook it off, but we waited at the endless, figuratively, checkout line.
Yeah, he literally Googled synonym of endless. Because who the hell is interminable?
Yeah. As we waited in the interminable checkout line, Eli said,
You heard it too?
"Yeah."
The dreams are gonna start soon.
Oh, what?
Okay. Are they bad?
Okay, I'm ready.
He didn't answer, didn't nod, nothing. He looked down at the floor. In the first dream, I found myself watching Miss Buckner scream at me, but my gaze kept falling back to Eli pocketing the cartridge. It felt like he was stealing it from me. It was mine, damn it! What did the kid
What?
think he was doing? The next day, rather than do my husband duties... Oh, okay, he's just like a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
Of course
Oh,
he is.
he like Jigglypuff.
What a cock.
God. I found myself...
Meanwhile, while all the fucking spooky shit's going on, the wife's going over to some other guy's house.
Yeah, just going to Tyrone's house.
Yeah.
Ooh. I hope they don't live in the same neighborhood.
I found myself compelled to keep playing the game. It wasn't the good, giddy kind of compulsion I felt as a kid who wanted so bad to be the champion. It was instead the kind I felt on a long hike, 2 miles after the appreciation of nature. The appreciation of nature has passed, but the trail must be
He took
finished.
backpacking.
Yeah, dude, I felt like that after like the first half mile, dude. I was like, fuck this. I've got 5.5 more to go.
Hell yeah.
In this, I think we're getting close to the end.
Yeah.
In the second dream, I struggled to remember my locker combination. I needed my
Ooh,
notebook for calculus. Dude, this is just like the shit I dreamt when I was like in like high school. I was like,
Yeah, but he's a dad.
Yeah.
You get it? He's like having dreams of being a kid.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, I was gonna say, is he a dad and in college?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, there's a really bad word coming up.
I needed my notebook for calculus, which
Don't
I
say-
never took. Oh, which I certainly never took. I was so afraid I wouldn't get it out in time. Dude, that's like when you're having sex with your girl and you need to pull out. I was so afraid I wouldn't get it out in time.
Don't say the next. Do not say that word.
I didn't notice the boys behind me until they whispered, "Fag," in my ear and kneed me in the nethers before kicking my prone form on the ground. I woke up sobbing, cold, and sore. Dude, you ever, was it George Carlin said, like, you know your friend's a fag when he won't join you to beat up the queers?
Yeah.
Eh, those guys weren't queers or fags.
Show us your dick, faggot.
What a homo.
Here, let me grab it, faggot.
I
So
fought through the compulsion the next day, but still found myself looping a YouTube video playing the Lavender theme song. I forgot to shower and eat. I almost forgot to pick up Eli from day camp. I showed up 10 minutes late. His late teen team... Oh, what? Fuck you. His late teen team leader's face scrunched in a pubescent scowl.
Ooh.
As we pulled away, Eli put his hand on my arm.
You know what we have to do, Dad?
No. I don't know what you mean.
We have
What?
He just cut out.
Did you lose internet?
No, so we had to return it, but I went really high pitched and the mic didn't get it.
I was just like,
Oh,
Did Eli die? My son reminded me. My wife's son reminded me more and more of the kid from the rain. I went and grabbed my favorite bottle of Soylent. In the third dream, I couldn't feel my hands or feet. I felt myself swinging side to side as I gulped for air. Any move I made dug the coarse rope around my neck deeper and deeper as a young man emerged from a shadowy corner. Black clad with peach fuzz and a hard stare, he came up to me, hanging there, and whispered something I couldn't understand, but whose sentiment was apparent. As he backed away, I felt my chest heave and struggle. I gasped, trying to swallow air, force it down, anything to breathe. My chest collapsed under immense pressure as my throat and ribs strained to expand. When at last my wife's attempts to wake me worked and I wheezed in air, the dream repeated 2 more times that night until on the 4th go, my hot topic enthusiast torturer cut me down. He took his icy fingers, wrapped them around my wrist with steely resolve, and led me into a room. Ooh. It took a minute to gather my sense.
I didn't think anything.
Brazzers.com. It took a minute to gather my senses in the dream world limbo. As my mind cleared, however, I found myself standing in Pokemon Tower. The boy and I sprites. Just gave me chills. He led me to a stairwell as the Lavender Town theme played in irregular rhythm. He was taking me to the basement. I tried to turn around, thudding into invisible walls any way but forward. I tried staying still and focusing on walking up, but he kicked me forward until at last we descended. The layout of the basement was much like any floor of the Pokemon Tower. The gravestones no more threatening than the ones above, which was, in a way, comforting. He had led me through a winding path. My neck burned and throbbed. He stopped at an unremarkable grave, just one among a myriad of copies. Being a sprite, he couldn't point it out, instead turning from it to me and back again. I tried to speak, but the text box appearing below us said nothing but ellipses.
Ooh.
What else could I do? I thought maybe to battle him, but Eli said he tried and lost over and over. I checked the grave. The box below said, "Here lies Brennan." Because of course it did. Really? You had to add that?
Because of course.
Because I tried to ask him what he wanted me to do about it. My frustration outweighing fear. The more I struggled to speak, the more his sprites seemed to be consumed by shadow. More sprites emerged from the graves, twisted forms, eyeless, missing pieces, and still others were mass of corrupted data. The music grew louder, faster, higher pitched, until it was one stabbing tone. My neck tightened. I struggled to breathe again. Brennan looked back at the grave, then to me, faster and faster, becoming a whirl of corrupted data himself, until I woke up shivering, covered in a fine film of sweat. The AC blasting on me. My wife lay undisturbed, but I felt eyes on me. An inky black form formed. Oh, not formed. An inky black form filled the doorway with, and panic set.
Daddy.
As the tension released, I swear I almost wet the bed. Yeah, little man.
Yeah, little man.
We have to return the slab.
Yeah. I hopped in bed between my... Oh, he hopped in bed between... I was really confused. I hopped in bed between my wife and I. He hopped in bed between my wife and I. If I dreamed anymore, I don't remember it. We ate breakfast quickly. Eli and I... We ate breakfast quickly. Eli and I leaving minutes after my wife. We didn't know where we had to go per se. But we had one good lead. Poring over obituaries in the local papers online, I found it. Elizabeth Buckner, buried at Serene Gardens. It wasn't a sure thing, and as we wandered through the graveyard for a little over an hour, I am awaiting my Parent of the Year award. Ooh, more parentheses.
Why?
Do you really need that shit? Like, if you're making a creepypasta, like, don't fucking add jokes and shit like that. Like,
yeah, it's like we're having this like moment of we're both going through the same like horrendous thing. I deserve parent. We're trying to look for this grave.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking bizarre, dude.
Oof.
I thought maybe I was wrong. Most of the graves look the same. Tiny rectangles in the ground with a name and a few numbers to sum up the entirety
Tiny
of a
rectums?
person's.
What?
Did I say rectums?
Oh no.
Oh.
Rectums?
I was like, that might have been a little bit of that Freudian
Oh.
slip.
Ooh.
With a name and a few numbers to sum up the entirety of a person's existence.
Oh, the big word coming up. Watch out.
Most people don't get fancy headstones, and those that did carry no more to elucidate a life.
Elucidate.
Oh, elucidate. Yeah. Oh, that's like
The big word.
Kirito's sword. The elucidator.
Oh, the elucidator.
I hate myself for knowing that.
2 years worth of cum flew out.
By the way, Aiden, it's your line.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it? Oh yeah, because the next one is buddy.
Endlessly out of
It's like the game.
What do you mean, buddy?
You walk by the graves, and there's a lot. They ought to matter more.
Existentialism from a 5-year-old. Eli found her. One little plaque out of many. Despite her unpleasant disposition, we left a small bouquet and searched for Brennan. He wasn't far, and I took a real breath for the first time all day. Oh, fuck. What's the spooky shit? Not realizing till now how tense I'd been. His marker was overgrown. Dude, what's fucking gravekeepers, like, slacking off? The lettering fading away, but he was still there. In the plot between mother and father. I half expected Eli to say some creepy / heartfelt shit like, "It's okay, Dad. They're together now." Instead, he said,
How do we give it to him?
first, we gotta ask X. I thought about
Ooh.
leaving it on the grave, but what was to stop some random mourner from taking it? And if they did, would Brennan visit them too? Also, and more likely, either rain or heavy winds would take it away. Maybe it was the lack of sleep or the fact that at this point I was more psychologically... Oh, look, more jokes. I was more psychologically flexible than a cult member second before downing the Kool-Aid. But I swear the
Wow.
boy in black was hanging from a tree
Why
nearby.
is there another hyphen after aid?
I think it's supposed to be like a space, like, not it's supposed to be a hyphen, but like a dash.
Kool-Aid. It's Kool-Aid. It's cool.
I could hear the creak of weighted rope on the wood and feel his swollen-eyed gaze upon me. Hey, buddy, I need you to tell me if anyone's coming. Eli kept away from the tree while patrolling. I cleared the weeds away from his plaque and started in on the ghoulish deed. I never thought I'd find myself digging up a person's grave with my bare hands, but life is full of firsts. I don't know how deep I got exactly, but by the end of it, I was soaked in sweat for the second time that day. The rhythmic swaying of the strained rope kept me in time. Eli, for his part, stayed quiet and watchful as I've never seen a kid before. As I placed the game and covered it with the earth, the swaying topped. The swaying topped?
He's gone.
Eli confirmed our out-shared delusion.
Hour, I guess.
Yeah, there was no flash of light. Brennan didn't appear before us in a heavenly beam to thank us. We just stopped seeing things. The wind picked up, whispering through the trees and grass as we packed the dirt. It's been a few months since then. Life's fallen
geez.
back into routine, and
Bro,
for a while
fucking epilogues.
I let myself forget about it all. In the end, what did it amount to but being yelled at by an old lady, some bad dreams, and some light hallucination?
In the end, that was even worse.
But Eli's not right. He's always been a reserved kid. I mean, my wife and I aren't the most social people either, but still. When we go to the park, he plays by himself. There hasn't been one annoying call about a play date yet either, and I don't think he's sleeping much. I've woken in the night and smelled matches despite the fact that neither my wife nor I smoke, and if I'm being honest, some nights I swear I hear the rope straining as it swings in the breeze.
Oh man. Dude, when you became Sprite, I got chills.
For a second, I thought Eli had become possessed by Brennan or something.
What a fucking garbage story.
That was horrible.
Like literally classic. You know, oh, is this for sale? I don't know what that is. The kid stole it though, and then they play
Yeah.
it, and the dad's like, bullshit. I'll play it. It's real.
Yeah.
We have to give it back. They're gone. Oh, check the obituaries online. Whoa, it's buried here. All right, let's go. I can't find them. I'm a dad of the year. I found him. Oh, there he is. Wow, it looks so cool. Chief, watch. I didn't bring a shovel, but I'm going to dig this fucker up. Okay. Digs it up. I don't know how far I got him. It might be 6 feet. Who knows?
Let's put the
game
game.
back in. Yeah, throw the game back in. Bury it back up. Everything's better now. Cut scene. It's a few months later, and everything's all good. Except, my son's still acting a little odd.
And I'm pretty
I
sure
thought
he's
that
thinking
guy-
about hanging himself.
Yeah, but I wouldn't think much of it.
Yeah, I mean, what's the
That's-
worst that could
it's such a-
happen? Like Logan Paul comes to his house?
What you
Like-
just said, if you just like replied to the story, you'd get banned.
Oh yeah.
It's so, it's just so fucking...
So, what would you rate the story?
Brennan out of
There's-
10.
There's no rating system on Reddit.
No, just it's like your own personal rating.
Out of 10?
Just come up with any rating you want.
10 newly created Reddit account upvotes out of 10.
Ooh, that's a pretty good one.
That's a how.
Yeah. I mean that's worth less than like dirt.
I give
A
it
sprinkle of Reddit gold.
Oof.
I give it 5 discarded Slim Jim wrappers out of 8.
I think I'll give it a 1 Sprite transformation out of out of Swain rope.
145 gap out of 10 to the head.
I'll give it 1 fine films of sweat out of wetting the bed.
Films of sweat.
God damn it.
Ugh, that's so bad.
That was fucking
Ugh.
I hate that.
There are kids out there who read that Reddit
And
story.
they're like, oh, oh.
I mean, I had to look over my shoulder a few times.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, I don't know if you heard me like stop. You know, it's like because I got spooked. I like felt like someone was like,
around, dude.
yeah, like, watching me. Oh God, it's Brennan.
So, but like, so apparently they saw him, right? Like they saw Brennan before they put the game in, but the narrator never said, we could see you know, Brennan swinging from the tree
Wait.
from his neck. Like,
Wait, they saw Brennan before they put the game in?
I didn't
yeah,
even know
because
that.
when he put the game in, Eli said he's gone.
Oh, and in the graveyard. Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you meant like before they put the game in, like the system.
Yeah.
Like they put it
No,
in
at
the
the
Game
very
Boy. Yeah, and
I
then
placed the game and covered it with earth.
yeah, okay.
The swang topped. I guess it's supposed to be the swang
No,
stop.
he probably got really tired and he probably only dug like 5 inches.
Yeah, like honestly, it
what
was
I'm-
probably like balls
What I'm
deep.
thinking what happened is the author forgot to say that they could see
Wait, no, he did
Brennan
mention it.
swinging. Did they? We left a small bouquet and searched for Brennan. He wasn't far. Took a real breath. Blah 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 blah. Realizing his marker was overgrown. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But still,
But
he
I
was
swear
there
the
in
boy in
plot.
black was hanging from a tree nearby. I could hear the creak of the weighted rope on wood and feel his swollen-eyed gaze upon me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's hey buddy.
Yeah.
So like the kid wanted it back.
He took my Pokemon. Oh, I think he was an autistic kid who killed himself. Like Pokemon was probably like his only like